They spoke in confusion and started looking at Rumi, whose face was covered with expression of sadness. I'm very young. When my father died, they had a love marriage. When my father was alive, we were lived a very happy family. And after his death, life suddenly became very difficult for us. My relatives, my grandmother, uncle, aunts, made my mother's life very difficult. On that day, my mother told me that, Rumi, why are you crying? We do have another sport, your brother. My mother used to talk about my brother while sitting down. I remember every detail of my brother. How does he look? What does he like to eat? Believe me, I love my unseen brother more than my mother. She was talking with tears in her eyes. I used to read all day, but she didn't come to pick us up. I became very sick. My mother used to say that my brother is 13 years older than me. Our tears and pains had no effect on our relatives. My mother also started getting sick. And one day suddenly, I saw my Uppa standing in the doorway. My mother was covered in his feature. How can I not recognize him? I suddenly hugged him and cried so much that my heart just couldn't stop crying. Jungkook Uppa hardly met my mother, but he gave some money to the greedy people and then they allowed him to meet my mother. My mother was in her last breath. Perhaps, perhaps God wanted my mother to see his son for the last moment. My mother apologized to Uppa and Uppa forgave me because she was his mother. She was a bad person for the world and was not a good woman, but she was our mother for us. We saw her as a good woman in the world. My mother told my brother to keep me with him after his death, but I had no other sport except for him. Rumi was talking with her head bowed. There was tears in his eyes and pain on her face. Uppa took our mother to the hospital. My mother survived for a day. Then she left behind her Rumi. Uppa kept me with him in the city for a month. Then his friend Namjoon Uppa said that he had taken me to his house because he knew that my presence wouldn't be tolerated in this house. She fell silent after saying this. Namjoon Uppa had a sister, Zoe. She was very sweet looking. She was becoming a lawyer. She treated me very lovingly. Namjoon Uppa has forcefully married her to Uppa, on which he filed a divorce on the third day in the marriage. Zoe left us out, but Jungkook explained Namjoon that it was written in the fate to happen like this. He told Namjoon Uppa family to forgive her. But Zoe is abroad now with his family. Still rarely talk to her. I used to live in a hostel. If there was a holiday, Namjoon Uppa used to visit me. They love me very much too. Rumi also seemed to speak like them perhaps. They almost listened to her with a great. They had tears in his eyes while he was crying. You and Tehi are very dear to me. She spoke in a full tone with tears in her eyes, on which Jungkook hugged him. Rumi, you are my younger sister from today. You had been in me every step of life, and you are very dear to me and Tehi too. Right, Tehi? Theo kissed Rumi's head and said, Absolutely, Auntie. You have both of us with you, she said while wiping the tears with her finger, on which Rumi hugged her. Yoongi was standing in the door, turned around smilingly. Intertwining his finger, they had come to him, who was standing in the balcony, looking at the starry sky. Today, everyone had gone to a wedding in a nearby village, which was their relatives. Lisa, Hun, Jehob, all were at the wedding, so no one had come to know about Rumi yet. Jungkook had turned around and started to go inside, sensing their presence, when he came quickly in front of him. They looked very innocent. With his head bowed, Jungle was looking at this seriously, and they had suddenly taken his hurt wrist in his hand. Jungle was shocked and started looking at his wrist in his hand. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. There was a professor in our college. Once I accidentally hit his head. I made such a big hole in his head. I apologized to him with regret. He forgave me with a smile. He said, whoever apologized with regret, he should be forgiven, not punished. They nodded his head seriously, which made his big earrings he was wearing shake. He was shocked and stared at his shaking earrings. You're not angry, are you? Now I hope you have forgiven me. You're quite good, but I still consider you arrogant. I'm sorry. They ran away in fear from the sharp eyes, speaking in reverse. As he was going, he hit a pillar. They ran away from there. He took a deep breath and started looking at the high mountain standing in front of him. Two things were necessary in the life. They were sitting on the bed and telling them both when Jungle came in the room and stopped. What? Rumi asked. One is food, the other is sleep. Food should be good, which you love to eat, and sleep in which you didn't wake up yourself, but someone wakes you up by shaking. But you still didn't wake up. A person should be stubborn in sleep, not that someone says and you got up. They become very sensible, and Ray explained to them, while Jungle folded his hand on his chest, started looking at Day. There were a lot of seriousness in his face. My mother is very intelligent. He didn't become doctor like that, they said proudly, on which they stiffened his neck and started looking in front of him. His neck fell down in a second when he saw Jungle standing in front of him. Jungle came closer to them with slow step. Tehi, go to sleep. Otherwise you will not able to become as intelligent as your mother. You should take in your sleep on time, he said seriously while pulling Tehi. And Rumi smiled. While Theon was scared, Tehi extended his hand toward his daddy. He had taken his daughter in his arm with a smile. Uppa, I will share the room with Tehi. I didn't want to sleep alone. Rumi also spoke affectionately and extended his hand toward her brother, like a child. They looked at Jungle with surprise, who had taken his sister into his arm very easily, picked Tehi on the left side. He had lifted them both in his arm. Daddy, it would be better if you had also put Mama on your shoulder, Tehi said mischievously. To which they got scared and immediately moved to the other side of the bed. Tehi and Rumi laughed. Jungle looked at Tehi and left from there. Oh God, what did he eat? He left them in his arms so easily. They climbed on the bed, round and shocked. It was 12 o'clock. They were standing in the kitchen with his hand on his stomach. He was in a bad state of hunger. The maid hadn't cooked anything fresh. I don't even know how to cook vegetables. So what should I do now? They come to his room, which was empty. They made a bad face and went to study room, where Jungle was sleeping uncomfortably on an easy chair. They started shaking him by his shoulder. Jungle sat up after shook him a little. Is there stomach pain again?